Hey, I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. Hopefully you could hear me. That was a Wayne's World reference, in case you don't remember. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about some Star Wars news. And later on tonight, me and Rob will be back to talk about Turtles. I like Turtles. Or do I? How's it going, Mr. Bespin Special Edition?
See, that's a reference if people watch the show early in the week.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
I am special edition Bespin.
Yeah. You don't.
Won't
We
specify
don't.
why,
We
but
don't.
I am.
Rob corrected you sternly and said we don't make those kind of jokes
I'm
on
not
this
making
show.
any sort of joke. I'm just saying I am in the special edition of,
Mm-hmm.
Empire
Yeah.
Strikes Back. That is it.
I mean, I always considered you a special friend,
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
letting you know. Just letting you know.
yeah.
So yeah, today, like, I guess we're gonna call it maybe the opening of the like Ahsoka floodgates, if you will.
hmm
That sounds kind of gross, right? But it might be because we have like the EW article hitting, and we're gonna go into it and like read between the lines on that one. And like you were saying, like, I think your specific quote was, "It's a bit surface level."
hmm
And it definitely is. And but what do you expect from the opening of the marketing blitz stuff?
Yeah,
But
I at the moment, like,
I'm
it's
really afraid of that.
Dave Filoni told us this in April. It's all good, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. But before we get to that jazz, this is kind of cool. This resource has been very reputable for
hmm
run times over the last, I don't know, year maybe. I'm not sure. Star Wars
Yeah, it's not just
Ahsoka,
the Star Wars
mhm,
either. It's for like a
everything,
lot of
right?
the big, yeah, like The Last of Us, Marvel shows, all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm guessing either they have access to it through something on a ratings board somewhere, or they have, because
They specify
for
it in this one where they had it from,
oh, they do. Okay,
which
let's read it then from
yeah could be
Bespin
interesting for us.
Bulletin.
Yeah,
Yeah, bestmanbulletin.com. I don't know much about this site. It
no,
could have all kinds of spyware on it, but
it
I don't
does.
think it does.
Yeah,
Star Wars Ahsoka episodes 1 and 2 runtime revealed. Revealed. Whenever
so
I think of that, I think of Harry
some
Potter of Revelio. It sounds so majestic when
rebellion.
you when we write revealed.
I hated that word. I hated that word from that game. You'd say this so much.
Revelio,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
as long as those what's it called, like those talking head things, like you just
Hmm.
appear like in, I don't know, like some corridor, like, what are you up to today? Like that stupid crap. Like, I wish I could turn
Yeah.
that off. Um,
Yeah, I would definitely have broken hands if I lived in the Harry Potter universe from punching statues and stuff, slicing
yeah.
paintings like the Joker while listening to Party Man,
Mm,
your favorite scene from Batman '89.
yeah, I
Which
knew that's why you brought that up. Yeah,
celebrate the vandalism, man. Vandalism, it has
celebrate
some
vandalism.
upsides.
Yeah.
Prince and vandalism, two of my favorite things, come together in one great movie. I
hmm
that's I
hmm
can't get any better for that for my $8.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
actually back then it was $3 to see Batman. I remember because I saw it a lot.
I saw
All
you
right.
bring up the Mario thing the other day, by the way, like, because you mentioned it, $3. I can
Uh-huh.
buy Mario on my TV for £3. So
Okay. When you say buy, do you mean rent or do you mean own?
I think it's own, because like the
Because
flat is
yeah,
like £20, like next to
yeah,
it.
yeah, not here, not here. It's 19.95 for Mario, or you could rent it for like 5.99.
Yeah.
So
Do you think?
yeah.
Do you think Reddit are gonna hate me this like today because of that headline? Like they did last week for
Oh,
the
Reddit's.
release window for Star Wars: The Acolyte revealed. This bitch, like, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah. Oh, how dare he? How dare
saying that
he?
in the headline. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe someday you'll be as lucky as me and they'll just start copying and pasting your entire articles into it and pretending that they have the moral high ground on something while moving a goalpost repeatedly. But that's Reddit for you, and that's those geniuses. There's a couple of really great people there. I mean, I
Mhm.
I, I will acknowledge
As a
that.
true.
As a true legal eagle, always just, and legal eagle is not somebody that I know or who seems to advocate for me. Just says the truth, and they can't stand it over there. It's weird, but I don't
Yeah.
want to get in trouble with them because they are idiots. But someday I may end up in prison. Therefore, it's like, what? What the fuck are you talking about, you
As the
weirdo?
truth said that he did a video like recently or wherever where he talked about me being like a good source of news,
Mm-hmm.
obviously for like leaks and wherever,
Yeah,
and
of course you are.
like he mentioned that
Undisputed.
undisputed, but he mentioned that I'm like also his friend in that video, and some people were giving him crap saying like, "How can we believe you that this is a trusted outlet if he's your friend? You're just promoting your friend and all this weird stuff."
Maybe because Azatru has integrity and would only
He
be
does.
friends with people who he believes speak the truth.
Yeah,
Maybe it's that.
this could be that.
But that's what happens when you have like, the Fox News style slant of news where it's fair and balanced, and then everything is about finding a whataboutism. So it can't be true, because what about the fact that they're friends? What about the fact that Azatru likes Transformers and might actually be insane, which is very legitimate on that front? But what about it? It has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with like the actual point is proven track records are proven track records, and Azatru is simply honoring that. But that's the world that we live in, right?
Azatru's a nice guy, top guy.
Azatru's the nicest guy. Azatru is too nice to be our friend. I'm glad he's our friend. But he is too good of a boy to be our friend.
Yeah. It's good he doesn't come on Fortnite with us because we'd corrupt him, I think.
I think it's best it's best he sticks through his single player campaign games. All right, Revelio. All right, today this is from bestmanbulletin.com, this guy's website. Today, in case you're wondering, is my friend, so I guess full disclosure, he's my friend. Stupid. All right, today a reliable social media user who's revealed many accurate runtimes in the past has shared the runtime for the 2-episode Ahsoka premiere due to debut on Disney Plus later this month. Oh, my birthday. I actually don't care about my birthday usually, but the fact that my birthday is a Star Wars release day, that makes me happy. That's because I'm pathetic.
See, I'm not rooting for this, right?
Yeah.
But it would be awfully funny if this was really bad. Like, just to cap off Indiana Jones and Willow and all this other stuff for you for this past year.
I
on
know.
your birthday, they give you Ahsoka and it's like not good, and then Rob rips it to shreds, and you have to sit there for 2 hours and listen to it.
I mean, two things. Willow is, in my opinion, awful. I was rooting for Willow. It wasn't even like the case where I was like so invested in it was going to be bad no matter what. I was rooting for Indy. I am happy with Indy. Like Indy, for not being a Spielberg, real true Spielberg Lucas film.
It's just different reasons. Like you don't like Willow because you don't think the quality of it is very good. But Indiana Jones and The Flash, Michael Keaton's Batman, have come out and essentially become commercial failures this time around. So I just think it'd be funny, given it's your birthday, if so comes out just bad. Just to cap it all off.
Well, and that's like the other side of it. Is Ahsoka could come out and fail. It won. I think it was Rotten Tomatoes? Yeah, it was Rotten Tomatoes did a poll, and Ahsoka has it's the most anticipated show for them of August. So that's a good sign. But it's just of August. And it's there's a couple of other things, but I honestly, when I looked at what the other shows were, I didn't think there was a lot of overlap between them and the Ahsoka audience. But that's also a good thing as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's like the best, if it's the only real sci-fi fantasy offering and it comes in strong, I have no idea how this show is going to perform. Like, I know people feel hard one way or the other about certain things. Like, you and I had that conversation about Lando. I asked you if you thought this would perform better than Lando upon release if they both came out at the same time today, and it was an either or. And like I go like back and forth on those kind of questions because I'm like, Ahsoka has a huge internet fan base. It's had 15 years to build that character up, whereas a character like Lando actually hasn't. Had an episode 9 cameo that was forgettable, to say the least. And so but also Lando's from Empire Strikes Back, which is sort of like the wellspring of most of this content that we get today in a way.
I think most people who are fans of Ahsoka are like, well, they're probably my age or younger. Like, I don't know, like, Clone Wars came out in 2008. Like, I was a little bit too old for Clone Wars.
Right. Well, so was I, but that didn't stop me from
No, I
watching
know,
it. No,
but
I know what you mean. I know what you
yeah,
mean. Yeah, your
there's a bunch of
childhood.
people that obviously Clone Wars brought to Star Wars and inspired them to, and Ahsoka as a character has only catapulted since then.
Yes.
Because once she came out, obviously people didn't love her to begin with.
Snips and Sky Guy and R2E were the discourse. They hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, to get where she is now, like I said, at Celebration, she's probably the person I saw cosplayed the most.
Yeah.
Which was cool to see. But yeah.
And I see your point, but I also with cosplayers, I also go a little bit
I don't think it's
necessarily
just
represent mainstream audiences exactly, but it is a good metric of, is this connecting with the fan base? Because cosplayers, from my understanding of it, people can disagree with me because I don't know what I'm talking about. But the first is they do it because they love that thing. They love that character, or they want the validation and attention of the people who do, whichever, or maybe both, sometimes both, but one or the other. I've seen it come from both perspectives personally. And so that second metric of the validation from others going, oh, wow, I want a picture with you and stuff like that, comes out of the fact that the character is actually popular with the fan base. But it could run the other way too. When a character is so inside baseball and people feel so divorced from the concept of it that they have to feel like they have to jump in and become a huge nerd, and that they just go and they just kind of throw their hands away, you know what I mean, and ignore it. But the fact that this one has Rosario Dawson and she's pretty cute, I think that's going to go a long way for those people that barely pay attention to anything. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of. I mean, she does have lizard tentacles coming out of her head, but
I think
whatever.
Well, I think there was, I don't know. There's a lot of Rays. There's a few Padmes. They're more simple ones to do. In terms of costume.
I only respect the Padmes, though. To be honest with you guys, you come out as
Ahsoka
and Rey.
There's no Ochis.
Oh yeah, they gotta be a Ochi.
There was not a single Ochi. I should have done it.
Well, maybe it's time I reveal my new costume, and that's sexy Ochi. That's what I'll be doing next summer on the convention circuit. Yeah, sexy Ochi.
When Celebration goes to Tokyo, go over there as as slave Ochi.
Slave Ochi. Oh man. Okay, Sith slave Ochi. All right, so back to your article, which on August 23rd, there's going to be a 2-episode premiere. They have combined a runtime of 1 hour and 36 minutes. So that's pretty fucking rad if you think about it. 1 hour and 36 minutes is a lot. That's
a movie.
It's practically a movie. It's a short film. Not a short film, but a short movie. Yeah. It definitely. Oh man, you said the X user shared that they acquired the information regarding the runtime from press screenings, but unfortunately did not know, or at least share, what the runtime of the individual episodes were. So they did press screenings. I'm surprised there weren't people coming out and going, "Oh, I saw Ahsoka. I can't tell you." That whole thing that people do. I'm surprised that didn't happen.
This is why I said I think it'd be interesting for us, knowing where this has come from.
Yeah.
Not because this is where we get things from or anything, but typically when there is press screenings, somebody usually lets it out somewhere. Not to us, but in general.
Well, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's not lie to us.
It could be us. It could be Reddit. It could be
anywhere, you're right.
If
you got a little jug and you poke a hole in it, the leak comes out somewhere, and either goes in your mouth, my mouth, or Reddit's mouth.
And again, they've done this. So if we just say that today, this cryptic HD quality man or girl, we don't know who it is, but they saw it today, right? So press screens went out today, for example. They're doing that whopping 20 days before the show comes out. And they're all hush secret about this one. It's not like Andor where they actually, they wanted to build anticipation because analytics wasn't super great for them. Or us. But this one
still isn't.
It still isn't. No.
Yeah.
Make 89 pence an article from those things.
Yeah.
Great numbers.
It's a taco at Taco Bell, at least.
I can't even buy a single cheeseburger from McDonald's with that. I can't even buy a coffee from McDonald's with that.
That's why people should support you on Patreon and give you a coffee.
See, I was making a segue to the coffee thing.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you cheated up. I just hit it.
Yeah. You just like Tiger Woods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crashed my car into it even. All right, on average,
Davidson now?
on average, it computes on 48 minutes per episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's unlikely both episodes will be that runtime. It's just 1 hour 36 divided by 2. And then like the 1 hour 36 thing, it's like how accurate is that? Is that what they were told? The invitees were told in the press release or the invitation. Is that what somebody timed on their watch? You know what I mean? Because like, but either way we cut it, it makes it exactly what we expected when you really get down to it. Every single episode of a TV show shot in Southern California is intended to be around 45 minutes. Every single time. And every single time I have to argue and fight about this because some like clown that just does like Star Wars shows for super chats will come out and say they're an hour long. Because they know that by doing that, it will whet the appetite of the fan and get them excited. And then they can, in turn, criticize the show for not being long enough. It's a win-win for them. It's not about telling the truth. It's about how I set up that coffee for you. They set that up for themselves.
Yeah, it doesn't help as well. Like, you know, when you see when they do the writing credits, like when you see them through like the WGA stuff, it says like 1 hour, and it says it for all of them. Right. You know, like it doesn't just say it for Ahsoka, but they'll say it for the Mando and everything, and then people will get excited because like, oh, it's an hour long series. It's just a formality.
Yeah.
It's just you know because it's over 30 minutes, like so.
Yeah. But, it's an estimation at best.
Yeah, it seems obvious in this article, but I had to say like 1 hour 36 doesn't mean you're gonna get 48 minutes an episode. No. Like I feel like I have to say that because some people are dum-dums and they'll say like you said it's 48 minutes an episode. Like no, it's just the workings out of it. Like one could be, for all we know, actually an hour long, and the other be 36 minutes.
Yeah,
you know? It's also worth considering. I think this Cryptic HD guy, he when he puts these out, they're not bang on. They're pretty much in the ballpark.
Yeah.
But it's because I think they don't get the foreign credits, right? So it's like a couple of minutes.
I believe actually on one of them, I don't even think it had the English or United States credits or whatever. Like I think a couple of the runtimes in the past have been without credits entirely. And then every now and then they had the credits, I think. So I think it was sort of like a mixture of all of those things. So yeah, so whenever this person who's doing the Lord's work, by the way, and I appreciate it for one and applaud them, you can't take it down to the second with them. It wouldn't be fair, but you're getting a very, very clear estimation of the ballpark of where it's going to be. And also, like sometimes when they give us the press screenings, like of Willow, for instance, one of the episodes I had of Willow, when we watched it, it had like about 45 seconds of black screen before the logos even came up.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and the audio was crazy at times and stuff. There's all kinds of weird things happen on those ones. So if they were ever, for instance, getting their data from a press screener, even that can't be taken down to the second at this point.
Yeah. And it's also worth mentioning that likely, at least the second episode, includes a recap because all of the Mando stuff has a recap. And Ando does, I think, right? Can't remember if Ando did. But yeah, and that's probably included in the runtime. At least it is on Disney Plus.
Right.
You know? But again, you're going to get an hour and 36 minutes, roughly, of Star Wars content on one day. Not bad.
Yeah. So there's we'll finish this article still, but I'm gonna take a sidetrack because Garth Knight was nice enough to give me a $5 super chat and say, Jason, will Palpatine be in the series? Palpy is the best. So the irony is last time Palpy wasn't supposed to be in the Kenobi series. And I was like, he ain't in it, you guys, because he wasn't for a very, very long time. And then there he showed up, right? So Palpatine, I got Palpatine right for 9. Got that right at a point anyway. But and what he was doing. But other than that, I'm not a Palpatine expert here. But I don't think Palpatine should be in this series, but how could Palpatine be in this series? So two things I'll drop on the show today, two minor little tidbits or something that adds to a story. So minor, well, there's some spoilers here, but I assume if you watch the show and you're hanging out with us, you're into it, right?
Yeah.
So they filmed a sequence where Ahsoka sees herself on Mustafar fighting Hayden Christensen's Darth Vader before he's in the suit. And Obi-Wan, what's that?
There were new scenes as well.
Yes, yeah, it was new, and but they were and they had a dummy for a dead Kenobi, and they had clothes for a dead Kenobi. So they had two ideas there. One is Anakin literally kills Obi-Wan Kenobi in that fight, where the idea would be that Ahsoka and Kenobi confront Darth Vader. Another is he turns into the pile of clothes, just like as he always did. He became one with the Force in time in that narrative. And I don't actually think that makes a lot of sense. I question that a lot because he wouldn't have, but they did cut the scenes where he meets with Qui-Gon entirely, but that never made sense to me. But point being is those things existed, and it might have just been a marker for all I know, just to be real about it. But point is and I don't want to build that up to being like this 5-minute Revenge of the Sith homage everybody's been waiting for. Chances are she's walking down a hall of mirrors, so to speak, and she looks into one and she sees this moment. And that might be all that it is, or it might just be simply she has a vision of what would life have been had she stayed.
Yeah. There's also the one where the Vader people came back to do scenes for this as well, so that could also be in another one of these world between world things where it could just be the moment from Rebels reenacted for live action, which would obviously be a great moment for some fans, or it could be some other alternate future.
Yeah, and then I've had the story sort of ripped off from me, like they are prone to do in this world, and then said it was a multiverse. It's not a multiverse. It's never been a multiverse. There's no multiverse coming to Ahsoka. If there's a multiverse in Ahsoka, wow, that blows my mind and my whole understanding of everything I thought the show was. And that's not my understanding even in the slightest. Like it's not pertinent to the story whatsoever to the way I understand it. No. But with that in mind, is there a chance that we, see Ahsoka, does it go as far as showing Ahsoka, cutting off the limbs of Anakin? Does Palpatine come up on the riverbank and pick up Anakin and then she's,
It could even be more than that. It could be like, well, what if she's the hope? What if there's a future where she has, she takes the Luke position essentially. Like if she was present during the original trilogy.
Yeah. And my understanding of it though is that the point was it was like the universe telling Ahsoka, you dummy, if you had stayed, you would have to have done unspeakable things that you didn't have to do. And Obi-Wan Kenobi, see, I think in that future, Obi-Wan Kenobi is gone. I think where they ended up on this, Obi-Wan Kenobi's dead. And now she's Obi-Wan. I don't think she's the New Hope. I think now she has to go live in the Tatooine desert.
And again, watching over Luke. Because people who could just be tuning in. We do not know. This is speculation. We're just like
we don't know. Yeah.
We said what we know. But this aspect specifically, we're just theorizing.
Yeah, exactly. So. Exactly. And they film, they don't film things in order. So it wasn't like, and then here's where this happens. It was like, no, they're filming this. And I got wind of it. So anyways, so Palpatine, it's completely possible, there's a lot of cameo rumors going around as always.
That he's Matt Smith.
Matt Smith showing up, but I don't buy any of it. Just to be honest with you guys, I feel like the majority of the cameo rumors either don't make sense or aren't needed. But at the same time, if they did make this huge montage that explains the world of Rebels to the Ahsoka audience, there's always a chance Palpatine's in that scene. I mean, why wouldn't you if you could? And if you could, and you're Dave Filoni, you've used Palpatine many times. It doesn't seem like it's like a character, off the books for him. Like if it was like Jan Dodonna, I'd be like, I don't know. And Filoni's had years to use General Dodonna, and he never did. Why would he do it now? That kind of thing. But Palpatine's one he's used dozens of times, so it's completely, I think, possible. And then Garth gave another $49 super chat and said, I didn't watch the original Willow. I kind of figured watching Willow would discredit time bandits. I know it's weird. I'm going to say Willow, the original Willow film, and Time Bandits would be a great double feature of little people who can act and who are doing a good job, and it's not Star Wars. You know what I mean? So I highly recommend the original Willow film. It's a nice fantasy comedy. It's funny, and it goes well with films like The Never-Ending Story, The Princess Bride. It's of that caliber of film. They all go together really, really well. I would say Princess Bride, Time Bandits, Willow, Never-Ending Story, like all of those together are kind of like a top 4 or 5 of like the greats of fantasy, all ages filmmaking. I'd say, unlike Conan the Barbarian or something, it's different. But so I suggest watching it, and love Time Bandits though. So as somebody who loves Time Bandits, I'm going to recommend you watch Willow. I think if you love Time Bandits, you're going to think they go together well. And some of the same actors, doesn't discredit some of the same actors too.
I wonder if he's looking forward to the new Time Bandits that Taika's doing.
Yeah, I know that there's this like weird, I understand there's this weird trend in Hollywood right now to not have little people like be the 7 dwarfs in Snow White, and to not use little people because you don't want to use it in a way that exploits them, that makes it like, oh, this is the joke, they're the joke. At the same time, just like you would cast somebody beautiful because they're interesting to look at, little people are interesting to look at. They are.
Wasn't there like some actors that complaining recently that Hugh Grant is playing an Oompa Loompa in Wonka?
Yeah. Yeah, that's like that right there. Like if I were a little person, I would not want to play an Oompa Loompa. I would find that insulting. At the same
it depends
time,
how you treat the Oompa Loompa. I think if you
exactly, they're like little slaves though. They're like little slaves in that original film. You know what I mean? And like I remember
how he like meets the Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, the original book, if I remember right, sort of has them sort of like coming from it's almost like it has like a very ethnocentric kind of take on it.
Like a jungle sort of place.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like it has a very like like they're almost like a colonized people in a way.
Yeah, because at least in the Johnny Depp one, that's where he finds like the secret beans for his chocolate, the cocoa bean.
Yeah,
like it's with like that tribe of Oompa Loompas.
Right, that's right. Yeah, and I don't know if that's coloring my memory of the book. I read the book as a child. I was telling you just recently, I read like that in the glass elevator as a kid. I loved them as a kid. They were great. But I don't know about that new Timothée Chalamet trailer. I wasn't buying it. I hope it's good, but I'm not buying it yet. I'm not convinced.
I needed to hit because me and Pevy, we have this fantasy draft of movies we do every year. You know, and the winner gets a prize at the end, and I want some manga, so I'm hoping it hits because Wonka is on my list. So
right.
Hopefully I get it.
Yeah. And Garth says, Jason, what if the truth is underwhelming? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
My profile,
Yeah, exactly. It's better just to tell the truth. I mean, that's the way I've always looked at reporting stuff, to the best of your knowledge. And if it's underwhelming, oh well. I mean, it's like we have a YouTube where people role play reality, like that this one thing is happening and that they all get behind it. It's very bizarre.
Buying Star Wars back and
getting
fired every week and whatever.
And like what happens to those people? Do they grow up like the children of that audience if it grows up? Do they grow up to become like all about the truth and rejecting like the falsehoods of the last decade that they lived their teen years through, for instance, or do they just grow up to believe whatever some weirdo politician says? Like, I'm actually, like, anthropologically speaking, using that word again, I'm scared and intrigued by it, you know?
But also, like, you know, for Garth, so if the truth is underwhelming, but it's up to you to manage your own expectations. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's that aspect to it as well. You know, if I don't know, like, again, the only people you should really be like listening to, I suppose, is us, and you know, and we'll cover people that we think is reputable, and this, you know, whatever else. So if it's not coming from us, and it's just some random YouTuber or something, or giant freaking robot or whatever else,
Yeah.
chances are that, you know, if you're believing all that stuff and wherever else, you are going to be underwhelmed.
One component of like media literacy is understanding that everything editorializes. Doesn't matter who it is or what it is, but also in that process, we pick what we look at, what should be passed on, and we toss out as editors what's crap.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are watching a YouTube show, for instance, that always, if you look back at any episode and 99% of it's crap, they're bad editors. They're bad. They're not good filters. So you shouldn't pay attention to them just because I like it when that guy gives me the news. It's just like, okay, man, but you know what? That's like, I don't know. It reminds me of somebody who goes to a strip club and thinks the dancer's in love with them. You know, that's just, it's that same kind of brain, and I don't understand it. Max says Wonka's going to be great, so shut your mouth. I will.
Yeah, so like I said, like on my site, like, you know, before I did leaks or anything, before I had my own sources or whatever, it was just covering people like you who were reliable,
right?
You know, so people didn't get misled. And it's the same thing with you on this like show. You only cover articles and stories from people who you consider reputable. So
and if you don't, if you know in your heart it's probably not reputable, you should say so. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that angle either. When you're doing a daily Star Wars show like this one, if I want to go and say, here's the rumor du jour, and here's why I think it's crap, that is also, you know, respectfully, I guess. If sometimes people are,
I mean, you tell me I'm
on
too
accident.
respectful when I like,
sometimes you
know.
are, but I think that's because you're English adjacent. That's what we'll call you. Is that fine? Is that fair?
Just Welsh, you know.
Just well, are Welsh people all nice?
No.
Okay, because in my experience, English people are polite phonies, and Welsh people are a bit more like tempered, but saying it how it is. That's just
come around my way and just, you know, just live it for a bit. You know, it's it's not great sometimes, but no, I don't know. Like, I think English people, not all, but some, like look down on Welsh people. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, again, the UK is set up in a way where England is obviously prioritized over the other countries.
Yeah.
We definitely saw this during COVID, where like the Prime Minister was like, prioritize England, specifically London. You know, don't worry about Wales. Don't worry about you know, and it's a whole thing. So Scotland won a referendum like all the time to be independent, so they try and cater to them a bit more, and with Wales, they're like, you know, at the moment, the UK is spending billions to like do this like state of the art like train line in Turkey, right? Come to Wales, mate. I can't even do tap on, top off on my phone. Like it is shit. Yeah, you know. Like, I'm being straight up with you. The trains are terrible. Like, but you want to spend billions in Turkey? No, do it over here. You know.
Right.
The only thing I want to go to Turkey for is a hair transplant. You know.
Yeah. I mean, someday you and I are going to Turkey. We're getting those fucking hair transplants, and we're gonna come back. You're gonna be on camera.
Together.
We're gonna look like Brian May and Yanni. People are gonna be like, "What is going on here?"
We're gonna go together, just like sit in separate seats as you know, poking in our head together. You know. We'll bring Max over. Max likes going to Turkey. She can like party with us with our new hairlines.
We'll have all kinds of hot Turkish men around us, thanks to Max. We'll be like, hey, this is us now, okay?
Yeah. Rob doesn't need to come because he's already got like a perfect hairline.
Rob. But I mean, we'll figure out something for Rob. Could get a nipple transplant or something. Maybe he wants long, milky nipples. Sketchcraft, that's Rob, and I will be doing a turtle show tonight, like I was saying, or in a while. So if you guys want to hear our review of turtles, we'll be doing that. Thanks for the $5 super chat, Rob, you weirdo. Here's some cashola to help carry the stream. Thanks, man. And then Garth Knight gives another $5 super chat. Thank you for being so generous, Garth. And also love the evil Michael Knight photo. That's tops.
Ward, Orlando, to be fair.
He is so tanned in that it does almost look like he's about to get canceled.
It's just so small on my screen because I'm doing this.
Yeah. Ward, tell me I'll see a Rian Johnson trilogy. I need it for better or worse. So obviously I can't tell you that, but what I can tell you is that internally they love Rian Johnson. Whenever, even my buddy here, whenever he talks about the controversy that surrounded Rian Johnson, some of the traps Rian Johnson fell into socially on social media, I would say, by even acknowledging certain chuds and that kind of stuff. I think they love him so much that they would overlook it. That's really my take on it. I am somebody who thinks that the Rian Johnson thing will happen as long as Kathleen Kennedy doesn't bounce. If we have a full Lucasfilm true regime change with Kathy leaving, that would affect it. But on the other hand, you cannot understate the fact that I always heard at Lucasfilm, that dude was like a cool professor with the door open. Just come on in. Like that is something I heard from more than one person over the years. And you also cannot discount and discredit the fact that people like Filoni have also spoken highly of him, and the fact that they were cool with Filoni observing them. They were cool with offering guidance, suggestions, telling a little bit, talking about their process with him. And that's something about Filoni that I wanted to add to yesterday's show, the last show I did, is I was like, Filoni hasn't really brought too much original stuff to the table from him that I'm just like, this is just Filoni, or he tries it out in a lower medium and then keeps graduating, right? But Filoni could be a very different filmmaker at this point than we've been able to see because of those relationships, and it just hasn't come out yet. Like things that, when you go to grad school, your brain gets reconfigured. And Filoni was obviously educated in animation, then by George Lucas. And then you can't think about it. This guy went to film school, his own made up film school with George Lucas, J.J. Abrams, and Rian Johnson.
But Ron Howard and did he do with Gareth Edwards as well?
I think he did. Edwards and Favreau and Favreau. So if this guy,
also he has one of the best producers of all time above him in Kathleen Kennedy.
Right, exactly.
So on the producing side as well, he's learning from her,
and he's got the money through the corporation.
Yeah.
So I that's all things I wanted to add to my comments about Filoni yesterday. I think the guy has everything going for him, a ton of pressure, obviously. And so with that in mind, if Kennedy should leave and the Filoni boys, so to speak, remain in power, remain in some leadership role, which I believe they would, I don't think Rian's necessarily off the table there either, because if there's like a really great concept or idea, I think they will go with it. But as we've seen, schedules are the death knell of everything in film.
I mean, we're 4 years away from Last Jedi being 10 years old.
Yeah.
And we're 4 years away from Rian being announced to do a trilogy being 10 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and so if Lucasfilm stick to the current schedule, this Rian film we're not seeing until the 2030s, deep into it probably.
Right.
So they would have had Rian on the line for over 15 years at that point.
Jeez, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. And but I think that for Rian himself, though, for his career, at a certain point, it will be like, you know what, I need to get some box office cash rolling in in a way that doing Netflix movies in a way, because they still do use that as a metric for your Hollywood power and stuff like that, how much box office you've brought in. So I do think he would likely do it. But I also just to cap off the question, I don't know if I believe they will commit to a trilogy ever again or anytime soon. I think they will always commit to a series of films, just to be clear. And Ryan's thing was pitched as a trilogy. In my opinion, it will be whittled down to a one film.
But he did say he'd be open to a series, a TV series as well.
And when he said that, I remember reading between the lines, and it wasn't necessarily his film idea.
No, but I'm saying if whatever it is, like, you know, if you want Ryan content, maybe there's a world where we see Ryan's content as a television series,
right? And I do think if he went and did a fairly, I don't mean like a milquetoast series, like just a very given win kind of series, I think it would be better for the press of his next Star Wars film he did, because then people wouldn't be saying controversial Ryan Johnson, Last Jedi's Ryan Johnson, because then they'd have to be like, and also his critically acclaimed General Madine series. You know what I mean? Like it would be, they wouldn't. So I would think that kind of buffer might be a wise PR and career move, and for that film.
Yeah, even if it's just like a 6-episode limited series.
Yeah,
you know that he does. You know, something that can get him, because Ryan's capable of it. You've seen it with like the Knives Out franchise and oh, what's this TV show called now? With Natasha Lyonne.
Poker Face.
Poker Face, yeah. Like he's got him all from that stuff, and obviously his past work as well, like Looper and whatever. But so he's capable of it. You know, I just think the best thing for Ryan, and it's always been the case, is just to give him a blank slate, give him characters we have no attachment to. He can make his own because he succeeds in those aspects in the other projects he's taken on. So,
the channel gave €5.99. Is that the euro symbol? I got confused last show.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. €5.99 symbol. Any chance we will see Ahsoka meeting Luke for the first time in the show? What do you think? You think we might see?
I mean, is this just Luke? That like Amy chick like in disguise now, like asking us?
Oh no, Amy Tora. We have this person who like comments on every single thing that we do, no matter what. Is Luke in it? I'm always like, Amy, if I know, you'll be the first to know, and then I will put the article out. And then every single time, she just asks again. One time, I told her that you had all the answers and to go bother you. And
well, she was bothering me before she ventured to you. You just like re-upped it.
Yeah, I just like reinvigorated that passion. But
so commitment though, like does every day to me at least without a reply.
Love the enthusiasm for Luke Skywalker. I could definitely understand where it's coming from, but I mean, if you don't, Amy, I promise I would love to release that article confirming exactly what that would be. You know what I mean? But we don't.
I would love to release it, just not for her benefit, but just to get some money. You know,
sure. Money ain't bad.
£1 a day.
I mean, I would love it just so that way I could feel victimized by people just stealing my work like usual. That would be great too. But anyways, do I think there's a chance? I do. I think there is a chance that we could see, because so much of the show runs, from my understanding, runs parallel to season 2 of The Mandalorian and after. Like it's like, and the timeline though is so not ironed out in like a very specific way. It's very malleable still at this point, that it's like you can't really speak too firmly one way or the other. But it does feel, or I have heard, I've heard we have kind of 2 timelines in the Ahsoka series, like part 1 and a part 2. The first 4 episodes, the second 4 episodes, and it does seem like the first 4 somewhat run parallel to season 2 and 3, or season 2 anyways, of the Mandalorian, and then the next 4 run somewhere where season 3 of the Mandalorian would be in season 4, something like that, something to that
effect. If you want to consider like the timelines of Favreau specifically as claimed, that it was sort of real time with the shows, and yes, so the Boba Fett thing was supposedly like a year after.
Yeah,
it clearly wasn't when you he did that like afterwards, said that in an interview, but because there's no way, like Rob always says, there's no way Mando's taking space buses for a year.
Yeah.
But so at least in that point, like even if it's after season 2, like towards the end of season 2 onwards, that's like at least a year.
Yeah.
You know, we're considering it that.
Chris Breezy gives us some of the hot mics money today. Thank you, Chris Breezy. And thank you for being a channel member as well, Chris, as always, and a good buddy. And you're always welcome to come hang out with us when you're free, dude. But he says, visit me in Greece after the hair transplants.
We're just going to go on the European tour now. Is that what it is?
Yeah. But it's going to be like kind of like Bill and Ted, but we're going to have luxurious hair. And we're going to have
we're not going to have luxurious hair.
We're going to have like blood. Like
blood. Yeah.
Blood running down our.
So we should go to like
scalps.
Paris while we're doing all this. You know, we'll stand in front of the Eiffel Tower with bloody scalps.
So in our brains, we're gonna see it as we have, like I said, like I'm gonna have Brian May's hair. You're gonna have like I don't know, fucking Yanni's hair, and we're gonna show up in Greece. And Chris, who's a very good looking man, he's gonna take us to like these nightclubs. Max is gonna be there doing crazy dances and stuff. And we're like, it's gonna be the best time. But in reality, we're gonna show up and people are gonna run screaming, thinking that we've maybe been victims of a serial killer or something. So, but I'm down. I'll do it. I ain't scared.
If we can fund a European tour, I'm in. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe that should be a goal. Maybe that should be the goal of the channel, like just to fund a European tour. You know?
I'm in. I like this goal.
This thing is a good goal. And hair transplant, you know, like it'll give us a confidence boost.
So Naruto has heard Luke is in it. We'll see. I hope he is. I think that would be fun. Okay. So, do we have anything more in this article we should hit, or do you?
I just give an opinion.
You just kind of, and you're here, so you can just tell me. I don't have to read it.
Yeah, basically, it doesn't matter how long an episode is, as long as it's paced well. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
and neither should you. Like not you specifically, Jason, but people in general.
Yeah,
like you're if it's 60 minutes, but it's like paced really badly. Like, did you really win? Was it really worth having an hour-long episode? It could have benefited from being 45 minutes. But then again, if it's 30 minutes long and you're like, oh, I could have used an extra 10 minutes, I felt rushed.
Yeah.
There you go. Like, it just depends on the pacing. Like, that's all that matters.
On this Jedi Survivor article, do you want to just kind of like paraphrase what was up with that? Like, do you want to just kind of like say what the deal is with it to save a little bit of time? And and people can support you on Patreon and coffee.
It'd be very helpful if you did, people, you know? Yeah, so basically, on an earnings call, EA revealed that Respawn were in early stages of developing a version of Survivor for Xbox One and the PS4, which means like it's probably at least a year away, I'd imagined.
Right.
So I'm happy, like just like Kanye, I'm happy for you, right? PS4 users.
Yeah.
But does this need to happen? Like, because we are 3 years into the current generation of consoles at this moment. By the time this comes out, we'll be approaching the 4th year. Like, typically, at this point, we are moving away from last gen. Like, it happened with the PS4 era and, you know, coming from the Xbox 360 or whatever. We did it around this time.
Yeah.
On the build-up to the release of Survivor, they kept touting it as only a PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X/S game. And the game director, Stig, like, he said he wanted this to be, a true current gen experience, new generation experience, which it was, and it is. This goes against that. I also don't agree with them telling like consumers for a year, like, because it was announced in April of 2022 or May of 2022, one of the two, and released at the end of April this year. They told people for a year that it's PS5 and Xbox Series X only. So I know people who bought a PS5 in advance of this because of that news. Because of
I got one. I was able to get one because of that news.
Yeah, so I think.
Thank you, by the way, friend.
In that aspect, to do it, like, especially in a time where the world is dealing with climate inflation and the cost of living crisis is going on, and like it's just it's not a great time to encourage people to buy a next generation console and then 3 months after the game comes out say, oh, actually we are going to release it for the console you already owned.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah,
it's just about
actually, it's cool. We're gonna do that for you. But here's something that I wanted to ask you what you think about this. I seem to remember Azatrue saying that he thought the next game might be done on like sort of using different infrastructure than the first ones. I don't remember. I think he said that. And then like that they didn't change over for the next one because it did start as like an earlier gen game, and that next time that wouldn't be the case. Does that mean that these people will be screwed for the third game for sure? Who don't upgrade? Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
they'll
by
be
that
screwed for that
point, they should
100%.
be
But
caught up. But yeah.
so it took them from 2018 to 2023, it took them 5 years to get this game out. So within the next 5 years, we would probably be moving on to the PS6 and the next Xbox anyway. Would probably be the first year of that. So
Yeah.
chances are that it would be developed for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X anyway. So hopefully they're not still clinging on to the PS4.
Yeah.
Because the only reason I see them doing this is just based off of sales numbers of the PS4. Like there's 117 million units of that sold.
Right.
Currently, there's 40 million PS5s and 21 million Xbox Series X and S's. So that's the only reason I can see them doing it. But again, if you leave behind the last generation of consoles, more and more people are going to pick up the current generation, which is what you want them to do and advance. If you're going to continue to develop games for the last generation of consoles, like you're not getting the best out of the current hardware. Like I just think it's stupid. And my whole thing at this point is just put on the Switch then. Like
Yeah.
the Switch has more, like it's newer than the PS4. It has more units sold, has 125 million Switches sold like to date, probably more now. Like
Yeah.
just put it on there. Put it on there. Stream like the Switch like does like some sort of streaming thing, right? Like you can stream certain games to it. Like if
Yeah.
like it can't handle it or something.
That's probably like the future of gaming, I would
Yeah,
think
just
as
just
well.
put it on the Switch. If all you cared about now is like the attach rate of the consoles, just do it that way. But
Yeah.
in the future, maybe tell people in advance that you're gonna do this. So
Yeah. If you had told people at launch, that won't be the case. If they said that, I stand corrected. But
yeah.
I think they were very definitive in their initial like comments. But yeah, I definitely like am happy that it's happening for the people who couldn't play it at launch because they couldn't afford to get a new system. So a part of me is happy for them. The other part of me though is also like, but boy, are you going to be playing a bastardized version of it. In fact, I would recommend just waiting until you can get a console because it is so good. I'm very, very happy with it.
My brother, he picked up a PS5 the other day because it's on sale. Like they're doing sales for these things now.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing I always tell people is I don't really like the system, but if you want to move on and experience the new generation of games, maybe a Series S because they're like far more affordable. Especially if you only are interested in playing the Star Wars games specifically, if you're not going to be picking up like every like new release every couple of months, maybe invest in a Series S. And there's like ways you can do it where you don't have to pay I think it's 250 like upfront. There is payment plan versions of it like with certain outlets and stores. So I think it's called the Microsoft All Access plan.
Yeah.
I think it's what it's called. So if you want to go to the next gen, like that's an easy foot into it.
Right.
But if there is sales on PS5s and there is sales on Series X's now. So they won't come down massively, but my brother picked it up for like 400 instead of 5. So
as the truth says, I have a lot of thoughts. I do think they're going to do a Switch 2 version from this. That's a very good idea. That makes a lot of sense, especially with recently. I think you were telling me last week they were revealing a lot of the stuff was leaking out through the game magazine.
So
world
the Switch 2 is supposedly coming out in the latter half of next year. The idea is it's like from September onwards. Because companies have started getting dev kits, which is why this information is getting out there now. There's no idea if it's going to be backwards compatible, or anything like that. But rumors it's going to LCD screen. Rumors it could be 8 inches, I think. So
all right.
Pretty big,
Hey, that's hats off to you, Switch. You're growing up, boy. Garth Knight, thank you for all the support today, Garth. You're rocking it.
Referred to as Ward on all of this.
Do you think it's because I started with the Wayne's World reference that it brought like Garth out, and he's like, you know what, these are my people. Ward says, "What's up with Lucasfilm wanting to get away from the Jedi and lightsabers? Isn't that Star Wars core?" Oh, see, that's the thing. Is what they'll do in marketing is they'll make it seem like, hey guys, this Andor, this Rogue One, this Tony Gilroy joint, this is getting away from the core of just that Jedi stuff, and it's about the boots on the ground people. And like that's all marketing. It's not true, because meanwhile they're filming The Acolyte, which has more lightsabers in one frame than we have ever seen in live action Star Wars to this day.
She said there's more Jedi in it than like any other thing.
Then basically all than the prequels. So it's like no, that's all marketing mumbo jumbo when you get down to it. Yeah, there will be shows that don't have lightsabers, but remember, we were supposed to have 2 films without lightsabers, and what did we get in both films? Fucking lightsabers. Darth Vader in Rogue One and Darth Maul in Solo: A Star Wars Story. 2 films that really had no business for the most part having lightsabers. They found ways, for better or worse, to get them in. And so the only show that's committed to it so far has been Andor.
To get like lightsaber and what do you call it, Skeleton Crew, like because of what Jude Law.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's very likely. I would bet on it, and yeah, I would bet on it. And then the Ahsoka series, like I've said, it has a moment where you have Sabine dueling Shin while Ahsoka fights Balin. Like and Marok is in there as well. Yeah, I don't even know if he's part of that stuff, but you know what I mean? Like and then Ezra Bridger's doing Force karate. He doesn't have a lightsaber, but from what I understand at that part anyway. But so it's like you end up with that idea. I've heard that go around, and I'm just always like, nah, it might have more to do with brand balancing than it has to do with actually. But
even
like
the Mandalorian has lightsabers
all the time.
Like the Mandalorian has lightsabers.
Yeah.
Boba Fett had lightsabers. Like we still having a Star Wars canon with lightsabers. Most of it still has it.
If you had asked me, Bespin, if you had said, will Boba Fett's show have Yoda's lightsaber in it? I'd have been like, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about?
To be fair,
the Boba Fett show has Yoda's lightsaber.
If I told you that Lizzo would be in the Mandalorian season 3, you would have told me to shut the fuck up.
If I told you Lizzo was fat shaming women, you would be like, shut the fuck up. That's the world we live in, you guys. It's crazy.
And to be fair, I did tell Jason that we did try and get it confirmed for ages if Lizzo was in Mandalorian.
It's true.
Because it was the bonkers thing I was told.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always regretting not putting that out on April 1st. Like, we had that in hindsight. I was like, I should have done that.
Yeah, I know. That would have been classic. But, and once again, Garth, another $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Garth. I'm 10 beers deep. Nice. But I wish Patrick Swayze was a Jedi in the prequels. Am I alone?
Garth, so since you're like 10 beers deep, go to coffee.com/bestbullet.
Take out your credit card. No. Yeah. What kind of beer are you drinking today, Garth? That's the question. Is it good beer, or is it Jason beer? Are you a Pabst Blue Ribbon hipster? So no, but anyways, Patrick Swayze. So it's kind of funny when you say that to me, because like if Patrick Swayze was alive, I would be disgusted by it. But what I find interesting about the comment is once somebody is no longer with us and not a danger, then the possibilities, and when I say a danger, I mean a danger of being like crappy, because he did a lot of rad stuff, and then every now and then he do something that's like, this is just like lame 90s masculinity or early 90s masculinity. That's kind of like embarrassing. But I could have seen him being a pretty fucking badass Jedi had he lived, especially now that he would have been older, and like he kind of would have like that Qui-Gon kind of vibe going on, or I could have seen him showing up in Mandalorian as an
Mandalorian would be the
acquaintance.
better shout since they try and get like 80s people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like that would like he would be great next to Grief Karga, and stuff like that. Like so like that's probably what I would have done with him personally. But yeah. Garth drinking IPA. Enjoy your beers, man. Enjoy your beers. Yeah, and I do like Swayze for the record, though. I do. It's like it's kind of weird because when somebody becomes genre defining in certain things, they go through that period of being like kind of passe, and then they come out of it on the other side where they're like revered. I would say
she's like a wind is a banger,
And
can't wait for the Roadhouse reboot.
Well, like Ben, that was a very astute comment from Ben. Nick Cage, A Star Wars Story. Nick Cage is somebody that is existing in both spheres at the same time right now. Like in the last year, like Pig. Like you're like, oh, fucking Nick Cage can be a phenomenal actor. And then you also have Nick Cage probably doing some movie right now to pay an IRS bill.
I literally watched a Nick Cage movie like 2 days ago called Sympathy for the Devil.
How was it?
It was okay. Yeah, he's doing his usual Nick Cage thing, like he's over the top, but he has Joel Kinnaman opposite him.
Yeah. Ty Cox brings up Val Kilmer. And like Val Kilmer is who I miss the most. Val Kilmer is the guy who I miss the most. Like, it would be rad if he was rehabilitated through science. But yeah, Val Kilmer is my favorite. And also in Willow, Garth is great in Willow. He's fantastic.
You know who's great in Willow?
Willow?
No, he's not. Christian Slater.
Oh, Christian Slater, man. Man, that was one of the smart things that series did, though, was bringing in Christian Slater. I was like all about it,
Yeah.
So
and wasn't great.
A bunch, yeah, they didn't do a good job with him, and they may have killed him in the show. It was could have went either way, but they pretty much killed him in the first episode just in case they couldn't get him back. And but I would still love to see Christian Slater show up in Star Wars. I would be very happy if Slater showed up in The Mandalorian or one of the Star Wars shows. And Christian Slater, as a kid, that was my favorite actor. Actually, Christian Slater was my favorite actor.
Like sort of vibe would have fit something like Skeleton Crew, for what we've seen or know of it.
Yeah, yeah, big time. Yeah, and I hope. And it's Willow was already a car crash before he showed up. So yeah, and
but Ball Man, the only good thing about that show.
Yeah. If they ever like spin off the Willow universe in the future, I hope he's one of the things that continues on.
Like he legitimately made me laugh. Like he was genuinely funny.
That actor is really talented and somebody I hope gets another chance in Star Wars. And for the most, some of the younger actors in Willow were a little rough around the edges, but I honestly don't think that's those kids' fault.
No, I think it's
that
what they
is
had
entirely. It's entirely the production itself. And Willow, Warwick Davis was very rough around the edges in that. And I've heard there's reasons why I won't get into, but the show should have been canceled or postponed. Garth Knight is another $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Garth. I hope you don't feel that we are taking advantage of you while you're buzzed.
I am looking to take advantage. Go to patreon.com/bestbullet.
Thank you again, Garth. Val Kilmer says would have been perfect for Lucasfilm. I see Swayze kicking his well. See, that's the thing, dude. Val Kilmer's in Willow, dude. He's in a Lucasfilm thing, playing a Han Solo character. And if you ever wanted to know what that would look like, because Willow is a Star Wars film in fantasy clothing, 100%.
He's on Team Time Bandits, on Team Swayze. He ain't about it. Like he's talking about Swayze kicking Val Kilmer's ass.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. He would. I mean, yeah. Val Kilmer. I mean, Swayze. I do think Swayze would kick Val Kilmer's ass in a fight, but I do think that I'm more of a Kilmer guy. I think Kilmer shares my crazy ideas about art, whereas I think Swayze would let me know exactly what a man I am not. Does that make sense? Does that track with you? Yeah. Ty says Christian Slater was in Robin Hood with legendary Kevin Costner. I have some funny stories about Kevin Costner. My college, he went to my school, and like I had some weird experiences where he came to like a dinner that I was at one time and like basically said, like, started giving words and saying like he would like never eat or sit before us, that he's one of us, that he's an alumni. And then the motherfucker sat down and started eating while everybody was still standing up. He's nuts. But yeah, I love Christian Slater. And like I said, I would love to see Lucasfilm work with him again. And
Kevin Costner a legend?
Kevin Costner, so here's another thing. I loved as a child, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves was one of my favorite movies of the decade, like of that time. It was like in my top 10 as a kid. And but after that, he doesn't have a lot of things that I really like need or want or like, care for. And like most of the things he's done, I could do without. And I'm loving Yellowstone, but I think he's one of the worst things about Yellowstone. Oh, look who it is. It's The Rock.
But he ate a horse.
Oh shit. Your mic is super loud.
Super loud. Well, yeah, I've done nothing different.
Okay, I know. What happened, Rob?
Kevin Costner ate a horse. Remember Postman?
Oh yeah. I rented Postman from the warehouse.
Did the horse meat thing ever make it to the US?
What, the eating the horse thing? Yeah.
What, the horse meat stuff. So in like the UK at some point, like certain like stores were selling horse meat, but they were like labeling it as something else.
No. But I'll tell you this: in the '80s, Jack in a Box was hit for putting horse meat in their burgers.
Yeah,
they got actually in trouble for that. Yeah.
That happened here like a few years ago, like pretty recent. Like I think Burger King were doing it or something. Like,
yeah, it's horrific, dude. It's just. So it's why, like, one of the many reasons I can't stand Jack in a Box. Like I don't trust him. Once you get caught putting horse meat in your food, I don't trust you, Jason.
Yeah.
Sorry to say.
Well, all I could say is that Jack in the Box is good, and therefore horse meat is good. And Costner, I'm going to give him a win on that one.
You are buzzed.
Yeah. Will says Costner is absolutely the worst thing about Yellowstone. The show is far better when he isn't on the screen. And that's how I feel too. That's why all of the hubbub around the controversies around him in the show, I'm like, I don't think he matters. I think he's simply a plot device in the show at best. And his performance is very one note the whole time. It's not like he's given this like fucking tour de force of a performance and no one else could do it. Or he's made a character like like Brando in The Godfather and no one else could, it's not that. It's just him being himself.
I've only seen the first season. I quite like him in the first season. Maybe it goes downhill for him.
It doesn't change. It stays right where it's at with him.
Yeah.
It's what you see is what you got. You know what I mean? Where what you've seen is what you're going to get. So
you know what it reminds me of? Reminds me of Batman Forever, where you can replace Kilmer and it's no harm, no foul. Like there's just nothing there, like pointless.
Tyrant. If you want a recommendation, it would be to watch the spin-offs, which are vastly superior to Yellowstone. Then, if you are still into it and you like them, then try the Yellowstone series and enjoy it as a Boba Fett tiered spin-off of something else that was good. That's how I view it. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah, that's how I see it anyways. And I love the spin-offs a lot. I think the spin-offs are stellar.
I've only seen 1883 and 1883 was great. So.
Yeah. In 1923, it's Indiana Jones good. That said, so a bunch of pictures came out from EW. I was going to hit the article, but it's so surface level. We'll just look at the pictures today. And if we'll do the article next time. But
you haven't done the pictures yet?
The pictures just came out. The pictures just hit.
Okay. I was like, what did you do?
I was waiting for
it. I got you.
No,
we spent like the first hour like allowing Garth to drink 10 beers and answer his questions,
Right. That's fair.
Priorities.
Yeah, but we right here we have a picture of Shin attacking a lady next to a General Madine Admiral Akbar chair. Which, by the way, fun fact, Admiral Akbar or General Madine did all of the Akbar scenes, and he was only created in case Akbar didn't work or Akbar sucked and they didn't want it. So anyways,
this is just the same thing.
Should have been Princess Leia.
Right?
Princess Leia should have been in that role. It's ridiculous.
Princess Leia. Leia.
No, Lucas says it's Leia.
The only Leia is Leah Thompson, friend.
Tell that to George Lucas, who calls her Princess Leia. What do you want me to do about that?
That's just George Lucas trolling. But Han. No, but anyways, my read of this opening scene is that the magistrate, as they're calling her right now, I believe she is to be a Night Sister. Morgan Elsbeth has been captured after the Ahsoka fight, and I think these are the mercenaries that are butt springing her from prison. Not
Marok is also a mercenary, right? He's not an Inquisitor.
Correct. That's what the write-up says, that he's another hired hand. Yeah. And I've also had or during production, anyways, they could have changed. It really could have, but during production, it was implied to me that all of these characters had a connection to Thrawn in the past. So this was like everybody who was coming together was part of a larger plan. Almost like, imagine like a Morgan Elsbeth being the one doing an Ocean's 11 style scheme through Thrawn, where everything's coming together, like those like really corny, fast montage. Not that they did it, but they could have done that with how this is supposed to have unfolded, with how the backstory was set up for these characters. Now, at the end of the day, they end up looking at exactly what they got, and then they just go like, okay, we're going to go with that or we're not. You know what I mean? But yeah. So, JL gave JL Wireman gave 49 super chat, says, love the show. It's really helped me through a tough year. Thanks, y'all. Oh, thank you, JL. I hope that your next year is better than the year you've gone through, because that's just got to look at it like a long tunnel, and you end up on the other side of shit. Usually it just sucks. But thank you for the. You got to
carry your life better than I carry the show, Jason. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's just carrying your life at all. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, yeah, we do what we can.
Yeah, but so that shot. I mean, I think the shot looks good. Right here, we got Filoni on that set in El Segundo, the one where we had the shots of the foot.
Yeah, he's just showing the giant toes.
Yeah.
Classic Californian, always wears a hoodie even in 100-degree weather, right? Like
what Filoni? Oh yeah, he is, isn't he?
He's got it's like 100 degrees out there. He's like
is it a fucking wolf on his t-shirt?
Yeah,
that
looks like a wolf.
Is it a bear? It looks like more like a bear to me, but I'm not sure. But yeah, is like Ahsoka's armor, I've never asked anybody this. Is like the bracers? Is it like Mandalorian based? Is that like edited Mando armor?
I don't think we're people to ask.
Yeah, you're not. Fake fans.
Joe Johnston based. How about that?
Ben gave 199 super chat, says $2 for Rob's avatar purchasing fund.
No. It goes towards the hair transplant funds.
The hair transplant fund. That's right.
For me?
No, for me and Jason.
Have you not I've been bald before. I'm cool with it. Whatever. Yeah, I already know what I look like.
Me and Jason, we're gonna use the show to funnel money to fund hair transplants, and then we're gonna go on a European tour together.
Yeah, with our bloody heads. With our bloody heads.
Yeah. See what the show becomes when I'm not around. Like,
we did say you could come with us, but we don't know what we're gonna fix on you yet.
Yeah.
Look, let's be honest. We all got ripped off. Spreezy got the hair, right? Like Spreezy, he's got all the hair. We lose.
Spreezy. Hold on. Roll up. Spreezy's one life. He's a very good-looking man, and he's a tennis coach. He's got to be swimming in it. It's got to be, right? He's living the best life here. Let's just.
He can't meme very well though. His meme game is not so good.
He doesn't need to. When he's banging rich American widows all the time,
It's a little cringy sometimes, but I know he means it in good spirits,
Obviously, this photo could be a bit of forced perspective, but one of the things I wanted to note is that the set that we had photos of, it looks to be a lot taller than you would think from the photos that we saw originally, which is kind of cool. You know what I mean? The fact that
the
practical side.
The higher the lens, the more compressed the image, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just probably like a one. What do you think? Like 130, 135, maybe, probably something like that. It's like, I don't know. I'm not really great on the lenses.
Yeah,
but I've been getting more into it. The idea is that the higher the lens, the more it just depends on how you want to focus the information. Like, when you look at something, right? If you look at something, you see everything. But if you focus, you're only looking at one particular thing. So that's what the lenses are supposed to do. They're supposed to focus what you're paying attention to. So that's like a shorter lens, right? Like 70 millimeter, somewhere around there. So that butt shot's not good, guys. Like,
so a couple of things.
That's not a good. Ooh.
So what I like about what
it's not Rogue One.
Well, no, what I like about Dave Filoni being, two things. Number one is up front, this is probably why Freddie Prinze Jr. believed that Dave Filoni shot the Darth Vader sequence from Rogue One, because he was doing an homage to it. Freddie heard that probably and then misreported.
It's like the Star Wars versions of that.
But here's what one thing we always have to like go over with this New Republic stuff. I am convinced is being shot, or I shouldn't shot, but looks corny because they are corny and they're about to get fucked for it. And that's the point, I think. And I don't know if it will be the right call in the big picture or whatever, but that's where I think they're going. I always try to give them the benefit of the doubt with what they're trying to do and then see if they did it and see how it plays out. But
to be fair, at him, though. I'm not clowning the sequence as it plays out. I'm just saying whoever took the shot, look, watch, zoom in. Like if you zoom in, like you had a higher lens and there you go, right there. That's the shot.
Yeah, that's where I would put it too.
See, that's where you're looking anyway. So like, this is like, the lens thing is tricky. The person who explains it really well is if you ever get a chance to see Iron Jim James Cameron's masterclass, he actually goes through the tech noir sequence in the first Terminator movie and breaks down the lenses and how they compress information so you can like choose them to dictate the information you see, like that's the shot. It's just here's the booty shot. Like, it's like, what are you doing?
Here's where Filoni is my guy and why I like it. What I do like in this.
Because he does booty shot.
Because he does a booty shot.
Booty shot.
A booty shot, but also that was a given best spin. Of course, I like that he does a booty shot.
I mean,
but he does that one of Sabine on the swoop bike. Yeah. Jesus Christ! I believed in God for a second. That said,
you get a booty and you get a booty.
No,
maybe that's what we could take Rob to like Turkey for. We can get him like booty shot.
Yeah, we get some big like a booty transplant, like a big booty.
I'm going to Turkey now.
Yeah, you're going to Turkey and you're getting a booty transplant. You're gonna get a booty extender. Your wife's gonna love it. Don't worry.
Good food.
She asked us to do that for you. She's paying for it. No,
part of the European fund for us. Yeah.
Ray Stevenson is supposed to be a fallen Jedi who's gone off the path. And when you look at his costume and the way that it's set up, Luke Skywalker in the opening of Return of the Jedi is also a Jedi who is on a questionable path. When we open up Luke in Return of the Jedi, he's force choking Gamorrean guards. He's threatening people straight out. Like he's supposed to be kind of a gray character. We're not supposed to know in the opening of Return of the Jedi that Luke Skywalker is your fucking daddy, that you all like to pretend that he is the perfect fucking person who is flawless.
He force chokes Gamorrean guards, but he doesn't force choke Rancors. You figured that one out.
Well, he doesn't. He has a little penis, and size still matters to him. He hasn't got over it yet. Okay,
it's like just choke the fucking Rancor, man. We just saw you do
Rob, how many years did it take you to accept your small penis? He's only 25. Give him a break. But I'm kidding. No,
Jason, you said we'd save that for members only chats. Why are you doing that
listen,
for free?
I've never accepted mine at all. Okay, so I understand
we just do that for money. We don't do it for free.
No, but you can see some Return of the Jedi Luke kind of references here, and then
this shot actually, this shot feels more like A New Hope in the way it's composed. When we're saying like, can you make something that feels more like the first film on a first film budget? This feels like a modern take on the first film by far. It's just that Lucas, I just don't see. I can't remember who was the DP, who was the cinematographer on A New Hope. I'm brain farting right now.
Oh man, hold on, Star
right?
Wars.
I forget. I know.
Yeah,
you know me and names, man.
I think it's Gil Taylor, maybe Gilbert Taylor. That sounds right. I think it's I think it's Gil Taylor.
Right. I just don't think Gil Taylor would have composed that. The problem is you want to look at him, but you're looking at the blue dude. Even when you squint, you just see the big blue dude. So it's just
Gilbert Taylor, British cinematographer.
And I'm certain the sequence plays out that way. It's just a particular shot, but it's an Entertainment Weekly shot, so whatever. But they're the ones that make the big deal, Jason, about showing this stuff. So
yeah,
I do like the laser blast is creating, the light on the wall to the left when it hits it, right? Like it actually is being lit up properly, right? Which you don't get in the older films because they kind of couldn't half the time, just realistically speaking, so.
Right. Talking Sith, thank you for being a channel member, Talking Smith, for 15 months. I really appreciate that, man. Says, I think her armor is slightly Mandalorian inspired. Seems like she had it during the siege of Mandalore. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And we've seen that where Maul's legs are actually Mandalorian legs eventually and stuff. So it's kind of cool that we see that those little designs permeating through. We also have a new
pathetic.
Yeah, leave me alone. Yeah, then we could see Sabine on her bike that like a fucking, I'm gonna call her now she's beautiful and a cool character, but what a fucking nerd to paint your bike to match the outfit that you used to wear. What a nerd.
Yeah.
You're a nerd, Sabine.
I'm a little not into it. I only like those kinds of colors on Star Wars stuff if they're in a pod race or something. Like normal.
What do you call it? It looks better than the Vespas.
Oh yeah, no, it takes the Vespa's ass. And no, it just makes me laugh because if you know what it's kind of like.
But I mean, the classic speeder bike alone just looks dynamic, so it still has the dynamic look. Those Vespas, they're flat on the bottom.
Well, this one, it's like that lived in. Like this, you can see it's being worn on the top.
Which is, right. Yeah, it has the paint is coming off the top. This was done a while ago.
Right.
Those look at how the little gas tank. It's like a real car gas tank here on the bottom right. I think that's from a Honda. I'm not even kidding. Yeah. I think that's was it my Dodge Neon? I had that gas tank on something, that gas cover. Anyways, yeah. And they didn't give us the butt shot from the trailer. They were afraid.
No, Jason, you have to be careful because Jawas will pee in that gas tank if you don't secure it properly. Fair. Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, we had that in the original script, and I had to cut it out because we were afraid kids were. I mean, Rick, not Rick. Kurt's he peed in my gas tank, and we just thought it was a bad influence. Yeah.
Right here we have a loft cat.
Yeah, it's just showing all behind the scenes pictures of just stuff from the trailer, then, right?
Yes,
is that where all this is?
Cause I mean, yeah, we're going through them, and like I said, they just came out. I saved them all in a row, and then I'm going through them now. But yeah, the loft cats. I mean,
cool.
They are.
You know what I mean?
He looks great. Ray Stevenson's.
This is how Santa sees himself, right? If Star Wars Santa went into the Matrix, this would be his residual image, right?
Oh, shit. Star Wars Santa kicks some ass in live action.
I've come to bring you toys, bitch. Oh shit. Yeah.
Rob, what time do you want to schedule the Mutant Mayhem Turtles episode for tonight? Do we talk about it after? Or do you know when? Because I kind of stepped on your toes already.
Yeah. Can you do 8 tonight your time?
Yep.
Or 7 your time? 8 your time?
8 Pacific Standard Time sounds great.
All right, we'll do that.
I'll schedule it out and everything like that. So yeah, and thank you for the super chat, Scott. Much appreciated. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting the show lately. It really means a lot to me, especially with how dry it's been. It's been very, very dry. The writers are supposedly starting talks again early, and
AMPP scheduled a Friday meeting.
Yeah.
Script Notes podcast, by the way. Craig Mazin, screenwriter Craig Mazin, he was showrunner for Chernobyl. you know, and then the other guy who worked on like Pirates and a bunch of movies. They do a podcast, Script Notes podcast. They did a 3-minute, really quick breakdown on what's actually happening, you know. So if you're gonna get caught up on that, yeah.
But yeah, so right here though, old Stevenson looks great. It really is a shame that it's always a shame when somebody dies, obviously, but it's a shame that we won't get more of this guy's look, because this guy looks really good to me. Like, I like the feel of it, like slam Star Wars to me, you know, and I don't get that all the time when I look at certain character designs and takes and stuff, and he does. And then we can see the Sabine here, and I'm sorry, not Sabine, Hera Syndulla in that same shot. But right now, I think this one right here is with the corrected coloring and stuff like that. I'm gonna say it looks better, truer to the cartoon, but also like it's not a home run for me. I think it's going to be all up to her performance at the end of the day. I think her performance is going to make or break Hera Syndulla in this series, because if she's just in any way just by the numbers and with how it looks, I don't think it's going to be a home run for that character, unfortunately.
Well, Mary Elizabeth is a really talented actress, though.
Fantastic.
She pulled it. Like,
hey, Sam Jackson is a fantastic actor, but look what he had to do in the prequels. Give you the stink eye for a whole movie.
I thought you were going to say, Secret Invasion, because
come on.
Well, I didn't even watch it, so I couldn't tell you. You know, I boycotted it, guys.
Well,
I
know, but I mean, but you should see like the opening of Secret Invasion. It's really good, Rob. Like the art is just fucking beautiful.
You would say that. You would say that.
No,
anarchist.
It looks like somebody bought a muffin in Echo Park thinking it was a normal muffin, and it was laced with mushrooms. That's what it looks like. But yeah. So, anyways, I am happier with this. I didn't intend on showing these screenshots. I wasn't sure if they were going to hit during the show, and they did. But if you compare it to the other shots of this, this looks a lot better. The definition looks better.
You know what it looks like to me?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the best case scenario for Galactic Starship.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think what we're running into with this character, by the way, is the fact that it simply, for the most part, was designed to be in the cockpit of the Ghost. And I don't think she is going to, I could be wrong. I'd love to be wrong, maybe. But I don't think that she has a lot outside of the Ghost stuff. And I think that this scene right here that we're looking at was one of the last scenes shot for the show, because originally the scene with Mon Mothma was in The Mandalorian. Then it was reshot for Ahsoka, and then they decided to move that same sequence because this is about the larger narrative. And they decided not to have it in both shows because it would be redundant to people watching it. Mon Mothma would be getting this information twice. And this is I think the sequence where that happens. And I think that's kind of why we're like about it. So I would say save most of your criticisms for it for the cockpit, where it's going to be for almost all of the series. But we'll see. It could be wrong. You know, it could go the other way. And then right here we have short-haired Sabine from that same shot that we keep getting. It's nice to see this in like, you know, high quality, I guess, and not from like somebody's cell phone at Star Wars Celebration. But right here, you know, you can see it looks like she has some black nail polish.
Is that a dig at Azatru?
What?
You picking fights with Azatru? You picking fights with Azatru's cell phone pics?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. But she looks good. You know, the costume looks good. The whole thing works. You know, is what it is. I'm cool with it. It's not really a lot to add. Something that we've seen a lot of already. And then right here we have another one. It's like of Ahsoka.
Jason's over there taking photos. She's ratting
I wish. I wish the photos we got from over there looked that good. Jeez.
Yeah.
You know,
that's when they sent the guy after you in his car. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, whenever I see like the lightsabers go in here and she's looking over there, is that like one of those like Bruce Lee things, like where she has a saber or somebody's
neck? The background to me just looks like completely fake. I don't know if it's actually from the set, or if this is
Well,
just from the.
Well, like see where the wall's broken on the top? That's definitely a set extension. That's not real.
Well, not even that.
It's never there.
All of it.
But yeah.
No,
I'm
it's the
saying,
lens. No, it's the lens. You can compress depth, so it's just flatten the depth out on that.
Okay.
I know specifically the rocks below. Does get in there.
It could be focus pulling too. I mean, there's a job who's in focus pullers. Just they focused on her, so it flattens everything. It's just the way it's compressed.
Yeah. Mumbo Jumbo says you're not made for this. You're not built for this.
I ain't.
It's true. It's true. But yeah, so do we have anything else? Was there anything else that I forgot to cover from today besides that article? Like I said, it's pretty puffy, and I'll probably dig through that article tomorrow and just like break it down and give some insight into the little what I think about what they're saying.
Hold on, I need to address this one. Jason Skywalker's Academy says Sam Jackson was just earning his reputation in Attack of the Clones when it was filmed. No, Jackie Brown had just come out. Pulp Fiction 4 years
was 94.
That,
Pulp Fiction was 94.
Oscar, yeah. Pulp Fiction. I mean, 94. Pulp Fiction. Come on, just stop it.
Yeah, but where I will meet him in the middle is Sam Jackson was not yet a leading man. It wasn't until about that year that we had Shaft was one of the first films where there was like a big push for it. I don't know how successful the film was, but one of the first pushes of him as like a leading man.
Huge. And if you're too young to remember,
once he was in Pulp Fiction, everybody wanted Sam Jackson for everything after that. He was completely like hot fire.
Was it Do the Right Thing that he was in? Or was it Jungle Fever? I can never remember which one. I get them mixed up. I'm not sure.
Let's just be real. Coming to America was his debut in the
broom fight.
Yeah, the broom fight. And so
the broom fight,
yeah. I mean, but he was all over. I mean, like,
plus he had he'd already done Die Hard 3 before Attack of the Clones came out. He made that movie. That movie wasn't for Sam Jackson. There ain't no reason to watch it. Just be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was pretty well known by that point, and he had done so many indie films and stuff. He had a lot of he was in as Ben pointed out, he was in Jurassic Park already, like in a small role, obviously, as one of the computer guys. But he was all over by that point. But yeah, he wasn't like a leading man. But I would also say he wasn't a leading man at all in the Star Wars films either. He was kind of doing the same level of role he had been doing across the board. And even today, I mean, I guess he had that, like when you look at his like work in the Marvel films, he's very prevalent all over them. At the same time, it's like not like there's been like a Nick Fury film either, right?
He's had a series, mate.
The series that just popped.
Critically acclaimed.
Unfortunately, it was not.
What a waste. Waste of talent. What's a waste of talent?
Did I miss a picture of one with Huang and Ahsoka in the cockpit? Because if I did, we'll hit it later. I'm sure it's one that we've already seen. If I did miss it, but yeah, but love. Everybody loves Samuel L. Jackson. He's pretty rad in everything. I mean, he was in the hit Snakes on a Plane. I'm kidding, but anyways, we'll end up probably seeing him back in Star Wars at some point. Anyways, even though, well, I don't know how old is Samuel L. Jackson now. I need to look this up before we go.
70 something.
He's got to be in his 70s. I mean, we got to be.
He's got a film coming out next month with Uma Thurman, doesn't he?
Okay, but he's 74 years old, and he definitely seems to be a healthy guy. Overall, we don't have we haven't heard stuff about him having like huge health issues overall and stuff like that. But he's got Garfield coming up, the Marvels, Argyle, The Kill Room, a couple of movies coming out.
Garfield,
and, that's what it says. Garfield.
Can you play the John role where he's just stuck with this psycho cat?
He's playing a character named Vic. Chris Pratt is Garfield. It's weird. Chris Pratt is Garfield. Bill Murray's in it though. Samuel L. Jackson is Vic. Nicholas Hoult is
weirdest
also
thing
Garfield.
ever about.
Wait, Chris Hoult is Garfield. Is there like a bunch of Garfields? Is this a Garfield multiverse? What the fuck is going on? I don't care.
I don't know. Pratt was gonna be him. Like
that's what Google has listed. Oh yeah, and before we go, Enoch, Captain Enoch is now listed on the IMDb stuff for Ahsoka, which was a name that I had in a story from a while ago. And I learned after that he was named Captain Enoch. And I didn't know when I put the articles out that he was Captain Enoch. And that listing specifically says Captain Enoch. So I believe that I can verify that listing as being accurate.
Chris is absolutely losing his shit right now.
Yeah. Sam Jackson should have played Nermal.
Nermal.
You know?
Yeah.
The Nermal for our generation.
But yeah, like Ford was like 79 when he played Indiana Jones for the last time. If they are going to get Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson as Mace Windu in a Star Wars project, it actually needs to start getting going now, or they're going to miss the boat. You know, at a certain point, he won't be able to read lines anymore.
I'm aware.
But, yeah. All right. Bespin, thank you for letting me keep you for a hell of a lot longer than you intended. But it's always great hanging out with you. And Rob, I will see you tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to give our thoughts on the Ninja Turtles film.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you enjoy it, Rob. I did.
You'll find out tonight.
Well, you'll find out tonight, won't you?
I will be in fucking naughty land, Rob, right? You know what time 8 p.m. is for me? It's like 3 or 4 in the morning.
So are you coming? You showing up? You coming to the review?
You know you're going to be on Fortnite.
I'm going to have him on Fortnite till 6. I bet. Unless he sleeps through it today. But But all right, everyone. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel for Star Wars, and we'll see you guys tonight to talk about Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, and all that kind of jazz. Thanks to everybody for supporting the show, for being a channel member, and I really appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for the super chats. Thank you, Garth, for your generous, copious amount of super chats today. I do appreciate it. It does, it does help. Drink some water. Mm-hmm. And I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be good. But we'll be back. And Garth, before we go, I'm gonna give him Garth this one before we go. I think the Ninja Turtles film will be a Ninja Turtles film. You'll find out tonight. Tonight you will find out. And we'll see everybody tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, and support Bespin Bulletin on Patreon, on Coffee, and wherever you can support Bespin Bulletin. If you read his articles or you watch the show, he would appreciate it. He would appreciate it more than me.
You can send me abuse if you want. It's all good.
Like a turd?
Send you a deuce.
Like
it doesn't mean the same thing here. Oh, abuse. Send you a deuce.
I said a deuce.
If you want to send me a deuce
right on
with
it,
money,
buddy. Hold on.
That's it. You know?
Right.
If I ever visit Wells and you get an upper decker by me, remember this day. All right, we'll see everybody tomorrow. Bye.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go.
It's not about spaceships.